Hi, everybody. I'm Joey. Thank you for coming to view our first episode for the Dreamcatchers podcast, where I will be interviewed by my executive producer, Justin, where I will be telling my story and letting you guys know how I began Dreamcatchers. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Justin. I'm the executive producer of the Dreamcatchers podcast dedicated to single moms who are incarcerated or who were incarcerated. And we are here to educate, inspire, and bring hope to help you navigate your current circumstance and help your family move forward as you come home from prison. So I am here today with our founder and executive director, and it's my privilege where I get to interview the host of the podcast. She's the host, I'm the producer, but I get to interview her today, and it is the one and only Joanne Hargrove, aka Joey.
Hey, hey, hey.
So we are here. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing.
Cool. We got 3 episodes done so far, and we are now doing your episode, and we're going to do more episodes. And one of the things we talked about when we were doing this, you wanted to tell your story and how Dreamcatcher started and why we're doing this podcast. So, before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity as the producer to kind of learn about you, hear your story, and be a part of this process. As you know, I always say the raindrop never gets credit for the flood. And I just really believe as you've been faithful to these little raindrops, which is the podcast and the stuff we did last month during Christmas and the stuff you're going to do this weekend, I just really believe that this podcast is going to go around the world and touch a lot of people. So thank you for the opportunity. So with that being said, we know you're the host. We know you're the founder. We know you're the executive director. But who are you? Like, tell the people who you are. Who are you? Who is Joey Hargrove?
Well, my name is Joanne Hargrove, and I go by Joey. I am born and raised in Pittsburgh, the city, Lorimer Avenue.
Oh, boy.
Woo-hoo.
Before we go any further, I just want to say one thing. Larimer's nice. Wilkinsburg's better. Let's continue on. We'll talk about that on a different podcast.
Okay. So, I am the founder and executive director of Dreamcatchers. It is a faith-based nonprofit organization, and it's geared to single mothers who are incarcerated or who have been incarcerated. Also to help their children as well.
Cool. That's very straightforward, straight and simple to the point. All right, cool. So how did we get here? So I learned this about you when we first met, and you said to me, you was like, hey, I just want you to know I've been to prison. And I was like, not you, because you don't look like what you've been through, right?
Right.
So then as I've gotten to know you and know your story, I'm just kind of blown away. So just tell people, how we got here, what was life like before prison, how you got to prison, and we could talk about afterwards. But tell everybody this stuff, because I still think you're joking with me at times. But,
Okay,
yeah.
so basically, I had a normal childhood. Two parent household. My mom was married to my stepfather, and so I had a bonus dad. My father was in and out of jail the majority of my life, but he was still a father. I went to Pittsburgh Public Schools. I struggled a little bit at the beginning, but I was able to overcome and be successful. By the time I graduated from high school, I moved on and went to college. I did some time at CCAC. I spent some time at Slippery Rock. I spent some time at Point Park. When I finished, I ended as a first semester junior. I didn't get any degrees or anything, but I got some college education. After college, or actually during college, I got into a relationship. The relationship kind of opened me up to a different world. I was always aware of my environment where there were drug activities, gang violence, and things like that. Like I said, I'm from Down Lorimer, and I had people in my family who sold drugs, and so it was kind of inevitable that I was probably going to end up doing it because of the people that I surrounded myself with. And that led me to be arrested and put in jail.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I just had this thought when I would do like youth ministry and young adults ministry. I would always say, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." Right. So I like how you can make that connection, and I think that's part of why you want to do this podcast. Is when people come home, they can begin to surround themselves with different options, right, and different strategies moving forward. So you're in prison. What was that experience like? And then while you were there, obviously the light bulb, no pun intended, went off for you. So what was that experience like?
Okay, so my experience in jail, I wouldn't say that my experience was terrible,
Okay.
but I'm not promoting it either,
Hmm.
right? I just was able to keep myself focused on my goal, and my goal was to come home. So I had a judge that, believe it or not, had some type of faith in me, and she understood the situation, and she sentenced me to boot camp. Not too many people get that option, right? So I did that. I went to the county for a week. I left the county and I went to Muncie. I left Muncie and went to Cambridge. I left Cambridge and went to Quahana, which was where the boot camp was, and which I graduated from the boot camp. And so my experience was that I ran into a few good women, right? And I've heard a lot of stories while I was in there. Um, I even had the opportunity to meet a young lady who was serving life, and it was just like, dang, because she was young, and yeah, like just got to experience different things, different people.
Yeah, yeah. So you said when you were there, while you were in prison, you made up in your mind you were going to come home. And you
For
were going to
sure.
do well, right?
For sure.
So I know the story, but tell me what that was like, because there were some significant things that happened. Things were already set up for you. So what happened?
So before I went to jail, like I said, I was selling drugs, and I didn't need to. It just I guess it was the money. It was the fast money. That's what it was. It was something to do. It felt good that I was able to take everybody out and pay for everything and have a good time and be at all the hot spots and things like that when anything that was going on in Pittsburgh was going on. And like I said, I'm 40. I don't know if I said that, but I'm 40. So when I was in my early 20s, Pittsburgh was popping. We had somewhere to go on every part of the city, right? Um, but like I said, I had two jobs and I was selling drugs. I lost both my jobs, and after I got arrested, and I ended up working for a beer distributor. And I didn't. The one job I lost because I got arrested. The other job, it just was circumstances that I lost it. But I ended up working for a beer distributor in Oakland, and it was a family-owned business, small, intimate. And the grandmother who started the business with her husband, once I explained to them that, hey, I'm going to be going to jail, she told me that my job was secure and to let her know whenever I was getting ready to come home, to write her a letter, let her know, and that I could come back to work once everything's situated for me to be able to come outside. Um, they also hired felons there as well, the guys who deliver the beer and stuff. So it wasn't nothing new to them. It was something that they were already implementing. But it was a good thing to know that I had a job waiting for me when I came home. All I had to do was go in there and do what I was supposed to do, stay under the radar, go to boot camp, graduate from boot camp, and come home.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the first step. You already had a job lined up, and then there was another significant thing that happened while you were working that job when you got home. So tell us about that.
So when I came home, I was like, I did a week in the halfway house. That was a blackout period. So that very next week, I was out on the street. I was on the bus going to work. I had a home plan to my grandparents' house, so I didn't stay in the halfway house that long. I stayed with my grandparents, and I was going to work, and I don't remember exactly why I was in Florida, but I was down in Florida visiting my family, my mom's sister, and my cousins, and my uncle, and while I was down there, I was talking to another aunt of mine who happened to be a postmaster at U.S. Postal Service, and we were just chatting about my job and my future. So she gave me this sound advice to go and fill out the application with the post office, and I'm like, make that make sense. I got a felony.
Yeah.
How am I going to go fill out an application with the post
Houseway.
office? Right. And she's like, just fill out the application and see what happened. Put my name on there and see what happened. And so I did it. But before I did it, I prayed about it, and I said, you know what, God, if you get me into the post office, I will never look back. And sure enough, I got in there, and 10 years later, I'm right here.
Yeah, 10 years later. That's pretty cool. So you had pretty much a good plan. You said the home plan, blackout period, all those different things were set up. Job was waiting for you, better job. So that's your experience. And I know part of why you want to do Dream Catchers and why you even want to do this podcast is to really help people understand that there is life after prison. There is opportunities that you can take advantage of. What are some of the barriers that you've seen that people deal with when they're trying to come home? There's a lot of different barriers. What are some of the things? I know having a job is one of them, but what are some of the other barriers?
Your environment is
Okay.
very important. I had to let some people go, and not in the sense of walking away, never seeing them again or never talking to them again, but we just couldn't share the same space.
Yeah.
We weren't on the same page. I needed more positivity in my world, so I had to love people from a distance.
Okay. What are some other things? So you got job, environment. What else?
Support,
Okay.
family support was still is important. Like I said, when I went to jail, I know it hurt my family because they didn't even know I was selling drugs. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I know, right? And when I went to jail, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry."
Wow.
But to have them support me and to be able to lean on them if need be, it was definitely a positive thing, and it was a plus to my life.
Yeah. So I know from getting to know you through this process that family is important. And so we got environment, having a stable job, purpose, something to come home to, having support from your family. One of the things we want to do is not just reach the single mothers who were incarcerated or who are incarcerated, but we want to help their families, specifically their children. What advice would you give to somebody who has a friend or family member that's currently incarcerated or they're on their way home or they've been back home? What advice would you give to them to help, how to create that support? Because it's a learning curve, right? And what would you say to somebody who's listening to this?
I would tell them to reach out to Dream Catchers
Okay.
so that we can help navigate
Okay.
as much as we possibly can. I would tell them to be patient with them, right? Handle them with care, but also be stern, right?
Yeah.
Because they need to stay focused.
Yeah.
They need to have a goal. They need to keep their eye on the prize, and the prize is a better future, especially if you have children, right? You want to be the best parent that you could possibly be, even with the stigma on you, and to stay encouraged, because that stigma, man, we got a president who's a felon,
Yeah.
So that stigma at this point, it don't really mean too much of nothing.
Yeah.
People need employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Businesses need owners. Organizations need directors, so on and so forth. So don't be afraid to take a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that. I felt that. So obviously reach out to Dream Catchers and other resources. Shameless plug. That's why we do the podcast. I like how you did that. So success story. So you got a success story. You're a success story.
Yes.
And that's what got me interested, involved in this project, in the organization, and just doing this podcast. What are some other success stories? I know there's one in particular. We're going to interview her in a month or so. But
Yes.
outside of her, we can talk about her.
Yes.
What are some other success stories that you've heard of, that you've witnessed?
Well, I have another young lady who I'm not going to spoil it, who was just on the show, and she was her own success. She was her own success story, and I will say that she was able to help her husband, her current husband, to become a success story as well, right? Another young lady that you mentioned, who hopefully will be on the show soon.
She will be on the show soon.
Yes. From your lips to God's ears, that she will be on the show soon. We connected when we were in a holding cell in the county, and actually we rode the same rad all the way through. Like some of the stepping stones that I took, she took as well. Actually, all of the stepping stones that I took, she took as well. Our journeys were slightly different because she had a drug addiction. I won't get too much into it because I'll let her tell you herself. But I didn't. So once we got to Quahana, she went one way and I went another. I ended up graduating before she did. But then once she graduated, we connected back again. She found me. I'll let her tell that story as well.
Yeah.
And she has surpassed. Like, she moved on with her life. She's married now. She has 4 kids. Her and her husband have a business, and I'm just so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. She's my sister from another mother.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So there is life after prison.
Yes.
There is life after prison.
Yes.
So I'm going to walk you through, lead you through a couple of other things here that I think are important as we cast vision for Dreamcatchers. Once again, I think everybody at this point can get the gist of like who you are, what has happened in your life, and where we're going. So let's talk about the work we're doing with Dreamcatchers, right? So when I say to you, Dreamcatchers is a faith-based organization supporting single mothers impacted by incarceration, educating you to strengthen families and serve communities. What does that mean to you?
That's our mission statement.
Yeah, that is the mission statement.
That
you
is our
came up
mission
with that.
statement.
So
Yes,
what were
I
you thinking
did.
when you wrote that?
What I was thinking was to try to keep it simple and clear of what it is that we plan to do. The best way that I can describe what I want the organization to stand for, right? And the children, not just the parents, the children are important too. Actually, to be honest with you, Dreamcatchers started for the children. But then it was like, we need to help the whole family, because yes, we can help the children, but if the children don't have a solid foundation, what good am I really doing?
Yeah.
So that's basically where all of it came from.
Okay. Nice. And so then there's a mission statement, and there's a vision statement. So it's the vision of what the future is going to look like. So it says here, we're creating a future where single mothers and youth overcome incarceration impact to build strong, united, thriving families, specifically led by Christ.
Yes.
So we know what we're here to do. We know what the future is supposed to look like. So there are 5 core values, and I want you to unpack those core values so people can get your heart. So they can understand. See, my job is to pull the gold out of you, and that's what we get to do right now.
Yes.
So when I say we have 5 core values, so the first one is faith. Obviously, you said led by Christ.
Of course.
I know you're a Christian. Sometimes I don't know if you're a Christian when we watch Steeler games. I'm joking. All jokes aside. But faith, what does faith mean to you? Like,
it's everything. Yeah. It is who I am. It is definitely who I am, and it's what I want this organization to be as well. I want any and everybody to know that God is amazing, and when you have Christ in your life, you can do any and everything. That's the most important thing. Now, I'm not saying that we won't help people who don't believe.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping if they don't believe that we could turn them into believers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Their experience will happen. So then another word you have here is community. So community for me, right? When I hear that and I interpret it, is to be known, accepted, and loved. What does community mean to you?
Oh, community. So I know everybody has heard that it takes a village,
Yeah,
right? So to me, that's what community is: camaraderie, togetherness, just uplifting each other and building each other up to be the best version of ourselves that we could possibly be.
yeah,
Part of the community core value to me is that the families that Dreamcatchers work with, I want us to serve them, but then I also want those families to turn around and serve the community as well. So whether it's volunteering, right? Doing something for the veterans or something for the homeless, or even giving back to the women who are incarcerated
yeah,
or who are coming home.
yeah,
Just being a service in some type of shape, form, fashion.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. I can say that I've seen that happen where, Christmas, right? We found some moms, 10 kids, got Christmas gifts.
I thought it
right?
was 15.
It might have been. I'm not the one. Don't. Yeah, it's all a blur. We serve families.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And now, you serve those families, but now a lot of those moms, what were some of the things they said on Christmas Day when we connected and after, specifically about how they wanted to volunteer and be a part?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How can I help?
How can I help?
How can I be of service?
Yeah.
What do you need to get your organization off the ground and moving?
Yeah. Do you think that their response is that way because everybody understands this pain point, but nobody's really doing anything about it?
Yes.
Specifically as moms?
Yes.
So can you speak to that a little bit more?
So basically, it's one thing to hear about it. It's another thing to actually be in it. And when you're in it, then you really see what's going on,
Yeah.
right? When you hear about it, you just hear about it. You know other people's stories. But when you're the one who's actually living that story, it feels a little different.
Yeah.
So to have somebody coming to you and trying to help you when you don't really normally get that help, I assume that it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you talked about the whole serve and the
Excuse
service.
me.
So we went from hey, we're back. Just a little technical difficulty, a little challenge. We're editing this. We're back. So we're talking about service, right? So we serve families during Christmas. We're creating podcasts, getting the word out, creating, educating, inspiring people, bringing information to the masses. Tomorrow you're doing a ladies' night. We're
Yes.
taking some of the moms out to dinner and a movie. And
Yes.
you're doing that. In a couple of months, we're going to do a service project. Maybe next month. We're still working on the finalized details of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like you got a really good pipeline of things happening right now, which is awesome. So there's a word that you used with that stuff in mind. The third word of core value is accountability. What does that mean?
Oh my goodness, accountability. Again, that falls under the community aspect, right? We need to hold each other accountable for the good and the bad, right? And not be judgmental, but be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And if we all can say, hey, I feel good because I did this, or I'm a little uneasy because I did that. That to me, that's part of being accountable for things, or being on time, being willing to volunteer, and just bringing everybody together to live out what we're trying to do for this organization.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I know throughout this process, I've seen the change since you started. Once you filled that paperwork out, and once these things have been kind of established, you've become a different person. You've become accountable, right? Not to just myself and the people that are working with you, but I think to yourself. You're taking this very seriously, and I want to acknowledge that. One of the things that, another word that you have on here that's really important is leadership, right? So what does leadership mean to you as the leader of the organization, right? And we have leadership conversations all the time.
Yeah.
But as a leader who's leading something, who's pioneering something in a space where leadership is really needed, what does leadership mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. Even though I am the captain of the ship, right? I want to be able to have other leaders, right? Because I can't do it all by myself. I can't serve everybody by myself. I'm going to need some people to stand next to me, right? To help me push this as far as we can possibly go. So leadership is very important to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the last one is service. We kind of already hit that on the
My
head
favorite
multiple
part.
times, but service. So I didn't know this until just now from hearing this, and I get to learn something new about you every day. So this whole idea of having money and paying stuff for people, right? Serving people, giving people, being very generous, right? Talk about that. Like, if Dreamcatchers had $1 million budget, what would you do?
Oh my goodness, what would I do? Oh,
Let's take it up higher. Let's $10 million budget.
man, the things that I would do, I just have, personally, I have a giving spirit, and I love to give things to put smile on people's faces, to make things easier for them. Birthdays and Christmas have always been important to me. That's normally around the time that I do a lot of giving. My nieces and nephews, they love when I buy gifts, right? Because you never know what you're going to get. I always give them an option. And they will always be like, I want you to buy me a gift. Don't give me the money. Buy me the gift. Because I really take the time out to think about what you need or what you would like. Because I want to see you happy and I want to see you enjoy what I give you. So I want to incorporate that into Dreamcatchers. And not that it's just gifts, or material gifts. I want to be able to give out mental gifts. I want to be able to give out physical gifts, whether it's a hug that a child needs or even their parent may need, right? I want to be able to be of service as much as possible. Even if it's something that I can't do, I want to be able to connect you to the right person or the right organization or whatever it may be to get you to achieve your goal. So that's where the whole service part comes in.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to be able to have the families and the children, the parents, all of that. Once we build our community, I want that community to be able to service outside of our community so we can have a bigger community and just keep growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
And then you could add anything else you want to.
Okay.
So what are some of the things you think that we need to know as we try to create solutions that will help people who are incarcerated and help their families?
One more time.
What are some of the things you think we need to know as we are trying to be on this journey? Because if somebody's listening to this, they've obviously been invited into this conversation. But it's so much more than a conversation. It's a movement. So what are some of the things you think we need to know, people who are coming into it from whatever, right? Whether I've been incarcerated, whether I'm just an influencer, like some of the people we were interviewing, even people who've worked in the prison system. Spoiler alert, we have a former parole officer, right? So what are some things that people need to know when they hear about this prison industrial complex, right? What do we need to do to create solutions? Or what are some things you think we need to do specifically? And we could just go there because we have these conversations. But right now in our country, we're in a really interesting time, in a societal time where people don't really understand the significance of what's happening from a governmental level. And I won't get too political, but, you know, you would have to be Helen Keller, you know what I mean, to not see what's happening right now.
Right.
So what are some things, just from your heart, from your gut, what do you see happening? What do you think we need to know? What do you think is some information that's very important for us you know?
Well, the first thing is I want to say voting. Voting is very important, right? It puts the right people in the right positions to help those who are in need. If you don't get out and vote, we end up where we're at right now. And I mean, I ain't scared because I got Christ with me, right? But hey, it's like, what's going to happen? You know, it's the unknown. We're at the unknown. That's the first thing. So definitely vote, y'all. It's really important. Secondly, being incarcerated, having a felony, having what's the third degree misdemeanor or whatever it is, anything that will probably give you time, it's not the end. It does not have to be the end. You in Christ are in charge of your future. You dictate what you want to do moving forward. Have a plan, right? Have a plan. Even if it's 30 days to 30 days to 30 days, have a plan on what you're going to do and shoot for the achievement of that plan.
Yeah.
And even if you don't achieve it in the 30 days, you got another 30 days. But keep going, keep pushing, don't give up, because there's success stories, you know, on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And everything is not meant for you. Everything is not for you, but something is for you. So if one thing is not working, try something else. Just don't give up, because you don't want to be one of those revolving inmates.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, because the more you go back and forth, your time is limited to change what you want to do, because we're not here forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to be 50, 60, 70 years old still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, anything else you want to add? We're going to wrap this up here. I know.
No, because we got many, many more episodes to go, and I'm pretty sure I could get everything off my chest as we keep it moving.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, hey, listen, thank you guys for watching this and listening to this. Go to dreamcatchers.com to get more information. We're going to be dropping episodes once a week, and then eventually what will probably happen is we'll do a review of the episodes, because some of the episodes, the conversations were good, and I'm like, man, like when they said this, I thought about this or that. So just pay attention and like us on all social media handles, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff. Check the show notes, and we'll see you guys next week.
And promote us.
Promote us.
Tell everybody about us, because we're here for everybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you guys for viewing episode number 1. Make sure you go to dreamcatchers.org so you can sign up for our newsletter, and it'll inform you when episode number 2 will be dropping.